How's it going, friends and family of the internet? Welcome to the Real AF TV podcast, the show about fishing and random takes from the land of 10,000 lakes. I'm one of your hosts, Josh LaBaw.
And I am Tim Wagner.
Tim, I hope that our sound game is on today because I got myself a new mic, and you can check that out on Twitter. If you want to come follow us at realaf.tv on Twitter, because I posted about it and they actually got back to me. Good old Sure Mike's here just was like, hey, hope you like it. I'm like, well, fuck
Nice,
yeah. You got a sweet
dude.
social team. Good for you.
Yeah. It's always cool to see when they got the good social teams and shit, man. It's exciting when somebody gets back to you.
It is for real.
It really is. Especially when it's like just a influencer. Like if anybody out there is familiar with Weston Smith, he is like just a fishing guy. He like does kayaks and stuff. He just posted the other day, I think he's up to 93,000 followers. And the other day he posted a photo on his story where he works out a lot too. So it was like
Are you
all
talking
this,
about on the IG? I might have missed it.
yeah, on the Instagram. And he was posting just a photo of like all the stuff he eats in the morning, and his cup was like broken on the bottom and it was crooked. And I commented on it. I just go, bro, your crooked cup is giving me anxiety. And then he just hits me back with, dude, they're all broken. So I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. Like, dude's got 93,000 followers and he's still just like, yeah, dude, I don't know what to do about it.
I don't know. I got these broken cups.
I got broken cups, dude.
Nice. Yeah, I've actually been on Twitter with following a lot of fishing pros and talked to a couple of them. Had those little back and forths like that. It's really fucking cool when someone just goes, yeah, cool. Or even just to get the like back from your comment on their post. It's like, oh shit, man. You feel like they're unaccessible people just because they're on TV casting a rod into the weeds of Tennessee, right?
Right. Yeah.
And then they just go like, yeah, I don't know. It snowed here in Virginia. It's a little early. Yeah. You're like, whoa.
Right. Yeah. Didn't see that shit coming.
Yeah. Well, Tim, we got ourselves quite an episode. This is a sort of episode. This is like an ice house kind of episode, a fishing shanty kind of episode, if I may say so myself.
All right.
It's a grab your beer.
Oh, I got I'm drinking whiskey and Sprite tonight, so let's see if we can. Oh, did that? You hear something?
Oh yeah, that picked up. That sounded good. So sorry if you're listening to this in the morning and you're not in your ice shanty. Here in the northern hemisphere of the world, it is winter, and it's frozen.
Yeah,
it's Minnesota,
ice.
And we're frozen.
Baby.
It's icy.
Yeah, not like super thick ice because we've had an unseasonably warm. Like, I don't know if you guys know what Minnesota's like if you're not listening from here, but it has been like in the 30s and it's mid-January, and that's kind of not normal. Normally it's
warm.
like 15, 20 degrees, and the ice just keeps getting thicker and thicker, but it's been hovering right around like freezing. So the ice is getting thicker, but it's still not to the point where people are driving on it. Really, it depends on what part of the state you're at, but
right.
I want to say it's like what was it? I can't remember. You have to look it up. It's like 4 inches for a person and like 6 inches for an ATV, 8 inches for a car.
Just go follow us on Twitter because I follow the DNR and they post that shit, and I definitely retweet all that safety stuff like that because we're in ice fishing season, so that's what we're going to get into here. We're going to talk about our ice fishing past, which I think we've already alluded to is not very extensive.
Not.
So we're going to work on trying to get some guests on the podcast here that can actually talk a little bit in depth, teach us some stuff, but also hopefully teach you, the listener. Random take, the part 2 of the podcast. We are going to talk about Nintendo Switch because, man, Nintendo Switch is always hot as shit, always in the news. It's the fucking craziest selling system of all time. And so I feel like getting nerdy because you just got one for Christmas. You got
Shit.
fucking hooked up, dude.
Yeah, dude. Mhm. I
Yeah.
did.
Yeah.
Very,
Fuck yeah.
very happy about it.
Hell yeah. So we'll do that in part 2, but let's talk about our ice fishing past. And I already like that you started talking about cars and stuff like that because that's always one of the things I hear. And please, if you're outside of the ice fishing area of the world, please come interact with us and talk to us about the weird things that you've heard about us doing up here. And we will more than likely confirm that that's a real thing, even though we don't do this on a
Yeah.
very regular basis because there's some crazy shit that goes on out on that ice. And right away, the car driving thing, I think people always freak out about that. They always are like, what do you mean you're driving out there? Because 90% of the time, it's a full size pickup
Oh,
that you
dude.
take out onto the water. Am I
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, full-size pickup. Well, because most of the lakes, there's nothing plowed. So
Mm-hmm.
you have, you're driving full-size pickups because you want four-wheel drive because you don't wanna get stuck in the middle of the lake. Um, but they
I mean, the
have,
snow still
like
piles up. Yeah. So you
right.
got to have
Yeah.
something. You want something with clearance.
But
You
on the
don't like to take out your
right. But
Cavalier.
on yeah, exactly. On the bigger lakes, though, they actually do bring plow trucks out there. I think that's something around, like, 14 inches of ice you gotta have for, like, a bigger plow truck, but they'll drive plow trucks out and plow roads so you can drive on the ice.
That's actually one of my first memories. I was going to say that. I love the segue you just set me up for because I grew up on Lake Waconia, essentially, and that's a big lake down here in the southern part of the state. It's actually the second biggest lake next to Lake Minnetonka. And we went ice fishing one day. Me, my dad, one of his friends. This is like my earliest ice fishing memory ever. It must have been 6, maybe 7. I
Okay.
don't know why I remember it, but I think the reason why I remember it is because we all piled into his single cab truck.
Yeah.
I'm sitting in the middle. We lived right next to a boat launch. And when we went down to um, the ice, we went off the boat launch. Like that's literally how we got onto the ice. It was just go to the boat launch and drive straight onto the water.
Yep.
And I remember the full size, and I don't know if they do this anymore. There's probably like insurance that stops this now, but man, this was the early 90s and they were running the full size city plows
Yeah,
on the
dude.
ice to make
Uh-huh.
roads, and I was so fucking blown away. It was just one of the coolest things, and I think that's why it really stuck with me.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy to see, like, when the ice is thick enough that you can see. Those things are gigantic. I don't know if you've ever been close, like, that's a fucking dump truck.
It's literally a dump truck with
Yeah,
a piece of curved metal on the front. I mean, and how heavy is that plow on top of
like
the
yeah,
fact that this is a dump truck, am I right? Oh, and the dump don't forget,
yeah,
these are full dump trucks because they're full of salt and ice mix in the back, even when they're out on the ice. I mean, I'm sure they are, because why would you empty it just to go out there? But think about all that
right.
weight. It's crazy.
It's nuts. Yeah, and that's just a testament of how strong ice is once it gets thick enough. Like, you
Right.
don't have to worry about stuff falling through. Plus,
Yeah.
it's
I'm
steady shit, like, if it falls through, they're just like, "Yeah, looks like we're getting a new snowplow." I don't know if that's really how it works, but,
I
you're not
the
as
thought's
nervous.
funny.
Right. Not as nervous as bringing your own truck out there because I don't that's one thing I've always wondered and never got clarification on is, like, if my truck goes through the ice, am I covered under insurance?
Almost never.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah. Yep. Almost never. So you have to really be good at the ice, which is another reason why I follow the DNR and stuff like that is to like refresh the memory because hopefully we will be doing me and you will both be doing ice fishing just also individually like I would like to go ice fishing more.
Oh, we're
So,
gonna get out there more. I just bought a hub shelter
oh
from
fuck. Yeah, dude.
from Omnia Fishing. Shout out to Omnia Fishing.
What up, Anya?
Yeah, and,
Hell yeah, dude. So
yeah.
you got that? Like you went and picked it up already? Like it's in the back of the truck or what? Tell me
It's
more.
it's in the house. It is a the shelter itself is a Frable Fortress, and dude, I don't know how the fuck they measure it, but it feels like there's so much more space in there than what it says. It is in inches. It is 80 by 80 by 80. So it's
Okay.
80 inches tall, 80 inches and then wide,
Oh,
you know,
okay.
like
Yeah,
the
so it's like an
dimensions. So
80 80.
it's like an
It's a
80-inch
rectangle
square.
80, and then vertically it's 82. Or no,
Yes.
it's a
Yep.
square. It's a
It's 80
square
inches
80
tall.
on the floor and then an 80 tall.
Yeah,
Okay.
and the fortress has like uh it's a brand new thing from Frable where they have like an extra rod that kicks out. So
Hmm.
normally it used to be like you have the 4 points to make a square, and this has 8 points to
Whoa.
technically make an octagon. And it has like I can't remember what it is. It's like 69 square feet of fishable area or something. Like when I opened it up, it was fucking huge.
No
It
way.
says it's a 3-person thing, and I've I bet we could easily fish 4 people in there.
Yeah?
I think
Holy
so.
crap, dude.
Yeah, I'm pretty pumped on it.
We'll go get our COVID tests and then jump in the house.
Yep. And then tomorrow, we're probably going to Cabela's. Um, just haven't done anything for a while, and gonna bring my son is 2.5, and they have like the African animal exhibit thing and some of the, like the stuffed animals there, and then they
Mhm.
have the aquarium, and he should be hyped on that. And I'm going to get um a bag for the electronics. Like if you had a flasher, which is a depth finder for ice fishing,
Mhm.
um, you would put that in a bag. A lot of them come with a bag, but I have my regular depth finder to use in the summertime.
Okay.
Um, and I was looking into like an ice kit for it, and it's stupid how much money you have to pay for that because I can buy a battery and I can buy a transducer, and then I'll just buy the bag separately and I can save money that way. So
Nice,
yeah, I'm gonna
nice.
get that bag and I'm gonna set it up so I'll have the electronic part of it. Cause the other nice thing is that my uh summertime electronics, I have a lake
Mhm.
map chip with a GPS
Oh,
setup and
yeah, yeah,
stuff. So I'll
for
know
sure.
where I'm at too. I can walk around and look at that and figure out where I'm at.
Oh, dude,
Yeah, so I'm pretty
that's sick.
pumped on that. So I'll have the electronics set up, and I have the shelter, and then an auger and a heater, which I could probably, do without the heater too if the weather stays like it is. But
Right.
those last 2 pieces of the puzzle, and then boom.
Hopefully find those on, like, garage sale sites or something like that, because
I'm probably gonna
they're
go with the newer electronic or electric auger if I can find a good
oh,
deal
shit,
on
I
one.
never even thought about that. You could just get an electric one. Of course, they make
Dude,
electric weed whippers, why wouldn't they make electric augers?
electric augers are relatively new, but they're so nice. Like you don't have to worry about starting it up. There's no exhaust. There's no
Right.
noise.
Yep.
Yeah,
I
I'm
mean, you
so
probably have to
sold.
worry about the battery life in the cold, because as an electronics guy, I know that that can be tough, but you have to think, well, they know what they made, so they better be insulating that motherfucker.
Right, yeah. Yeah, they're definitely I mean, they boast, like I think the 24-volt Strike Master boasts like being able to cut like 50 holes,
Mhm,
the 8-inch model on like a
mhm.
single charge.
Oh,
So,
shit.
yeah, I don't need to cut 50 holes. I'm not trying to run around
Hopefully not. Well,
all over
also
the lake.
because you'll have the map, so that'll help because if you walk in the map, it'll be you should need less holes. You should be able to get a little bit more precise just by knowing the lay of the lake, right?
Oh yeah, having the GPS setup is definitely gonna help instead of just walking around. But I also heard a trick that if you put a little bit of water on top of the ice, you can put your transducer right on the ice and like see what's down there. You don't need to
Oh,
drill a hole. Like the
No
sonar
way.
can the sonar
Like,
can
see
go through
through
the
the ice,
ice. Yeah.
essentially.
Yeah.
Holy shit, dude, that's cool. I looked up some Garmin stuff too earlier, but that
Oh,
will
dude,
be
Garmin.
we'll get into
Oh,
a different we're gonna do a whole episode about electronics, and, yeah, I started that,
they are
and I
on
was like,
another level right now, man.
"Ooh, hoo, hoo." Yeah, I think so, but that so I don't wanna get into that, I wanna get back to your ice
Yeah,
fishing
yeah,
past
yeah,
because 'cause
yeah.
we're in the ice fishing current, and I wanna hear some of your memories because I honestly, that was my first ice fishing memory, and then my next ice fishing memory is the next time me and you went in our tw man, that must have been 5, maybe almost 10 years ago already. We
Yeah, dude.
went and I'll send photos so you can put them up on the Instagram too. I have one photo of me with the green hornet and a crappie, and we caught some crappies. We went all day, and
Yeah,
yeah, I mean, that was seriously 20 years in between probably. I would bet there was probably 20 years in between my memories of ice fishing. Now,
right.
I've definitely been on the ice, but those are the only 2 times I can really recall ice fishing. Because let's be honest, ice fishing is also ice drinking.
Right. Yep, definitely.
I've definitely partied at some ice houses and just not been one of the people fishing.
Oh, I've never done that before.
Hey, just go out and have beers with your buddies. I mean, it's not like a
It's
party, I guess. It kind of oversold that.
yeah, right. I mean, I don't think I could go to a place where fishing is available and not
And not fish.
fish. I have to fish. If there's a
Right.
hole drilled, like, yeah, dude, give me a rod. I need to fish. But yeah, like mine too, man. It was so long up until that point where that same thing, me and you, like that was the first time I had ice fished, and I think that might have been like actually the first time like I legitimately ice fished.
Really?
Yeah, cuz I had been out earlier with like my great uncle,
Mhm.
and they had like tip ups and stuff, and we didn't catch
Okay.
dick. And I remember like it was super snowy and I couldn't even see the ice really. So it just felt like we were standing in an open field and nothing's
Mm.
happening. Like we only have
Mhm.
tip ups
Mhm.
and we're just standing out in the field. He didn't have a shelter, nothing. We're just standing around like waiting for a flag to pop up and nothing ever did. So we're just like, it was exciting. And I remember
Cool.
my sister was with that time and
Mhm.
she got freaked the fuck out because she's like, I
Oh.
don't get it. Where's the lake? And we're just like, you're standing on it. And she's like, what?
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah, it's ice. And then she was like, no, 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 we're not. But I mean, at that time, she would have been like, I don't know, 6, 7 years old. So
Oh, yeah.
yeah,
It totally blows your mind, and that's what was kind of saying at the beginning of the podcast too, is like, I wanna hear the people who don't live in this area, like, I wanna engage with those guys, those people who have never done it before, because I feel like that is the general consensus of people who don't live in the area, don't get exposed to it, like we're talking right now. We get out on there pretty early. We drive by enough water during the winter that whether you're out there ice fishing or not, you see people out there doing it, and it exposes you to the idea of there's
right,
trees, there's no trees, there's more trees. In between, there's this giant white patch. That's ice. That
right.
used to be a lake, and that is a lake,
Yep.
and now it's a solid lake. It's safe to go out on. It's just something
Mhm.
that gets ingrained in us up here when you've spent all your time in the frozen tundra, your entire life in the frozen tundra.
Yeah, yeah,
It doesn't blow your mind necessarily when you're
right,
15 or 10 years old because you've seen it for 10 years already. You're like, yeah, there's the
right.
guy ice fishing.
Yeah, your whole life. And like right now, still, it's just portables that are out there. But
Mhm.
when it gets later in the year and it gets colder, like there's permanents everywhere. So it's not just like you were saying, where it's just like there's trees and then it's open and then there's trees, and then there's a bunch of like little handmade shacks. And then there's trees again. You're just like, what's this weird little village? You're like, oh, those are all ice houses.
Yeah. Yes. Rent the movie Grumpy Old Men. It's a real
Yeah,
thing.
it's a
It's
real
like
thing.
it's basically a documentary.
Right. I mean, they're a little bit more, uh, vocal. I'm sure there are
Yeah.
some areas that are like that where everybody's, like, talking to each other and stuff, but it's not like a bustling city like it is in Grumpy Old Men. It's like you go out, you go into your house, and then you sit there and fish, and it
Yeah, like, their interactions of, like, they go to the bait shop, like, it's more like you go to the bait shop, you get your six-pack, you get your bait, you go to your ice house, crack a beer. Like, that's what this podcast is made for right now.
Yep,
This particular podcast is that version. Just put this on while you're sitting around in the ice house. And I
right.
love the fact that you described them as, like, handmade shanties, because that is how a lot of them are. They're just like a
Oh,
pallet that has been turned into,
I've
something
seen
with a
some
hole
weird
in it.
ones. Yeah, yeah, like a lot of old campers get converted into ice
Sure,
houses.
sure.
Yeah, I've seen the weird ones that, like, fit in the bed of a pickup truck, so
Oh,
you have, like
the campers that fit in a bed of a
yeah,
pic
so
yeah,
it'll
okay.
be, like, skinnier in the middle, and then it,
Yeah,
like,
uh-huh,
gets wider on the sides.
yeah.
I've seen those out there, like, not being supported on the sides. Like, they
Like, it's
gotta
just
be
sitting on the ice like
it's
it would
gotta
in the bed of a truck?
yeah, and, you can take those
Yeah.
out, but they're supposed to have legs because 'cause they're, like, awkward and tippy without them. Like, you just have too many people sit on one side and your whole shit just tips over. But, it's probably one person in there that's just like, "No, I got this.
Right.
I know where to sit."
Yeah. I just stay in the middle, I don't go to the upstairs.
Right.
That's awesome.
But
So
yeah,
I can't believe that, like, I mean, I can believe it, but it's just crazy to hear you say that that time where we were in our late 20s or whatever, and we went we went ice fishing. We So one of my buddies, we went ice fishing with him. He offered to take us fishing because I had a
yep,
hunch. Well, no, I knew that you hadn't been ice fishing much. I did not know that was like your first time ice fishing ever. And so we got a couple green hornets out, and he got two ice houses. He had two ice houses at the time, if I remember correctly. The
yeah,
sled kind, right?
yeah, because I think he had a double one for you guys and then a single one. Like, I was by myself. We were,
Mm-hmm.
like, right next to each other, but I was
Yeah,
in my
because you
own
just
little
open
room.
up the front of them like a tent, and you're just sitting there.
Right.
Yeah,
Yep. But yeah,
yeah.
it was like, I know when we were younger, like, I've always been very avid angler, like, ever I mean, not when I was real little, but, like, ever since I got a real good grasp on how to fish in the summertime, like, that's what I do, and I've always been kind of an impatient fisherman, like, I don't like to sit in one spot, I like to cover water, I like to cast a lot,
Hmm.
um, stuff like that,
Hmm.
but as I've gotten older, I've definitely, like, been more accustomed and, like, okay with doing what it takes to get the fish, because I like catching fish more than I like just casting a bunch,
Yeah. Hmm.
without
Hmm.
results. So
Sure, sure.
so, and, like, now in the winter too, like, uh, when we were younger, me and you had, like, the same hobbies. It gets cold, and we snowboard and play video games,
Mhm,
and you can
mhm.
drink doing both of those. So
Right.
so that's what, like, preoccupied the younger years, and now the only reason I don't go ice fishing is because I don't have the gear,
Good gear,
but
sure,
my
yeah.
current job now is kinda allowing me a little leeway, and then plus all these stimulus packages and shit, it's like, well, now we have a
Mhm.
little bit of extra cash to throw at, the fun stuff. So,
Yeah. Yeah, fuck yeah, dude. I'm excited, so hopefully we get more stories, more pictures and shit. You had that banger at the beginning of the year that you posted right at on New Year's Eve on
dude,
Instagram, man. You guys gotta if you're listening to this for the first time somehow, thank you, welcome.
Yes.
Follow, follow. Just look us up on Instagram, REELAFTV, and you'll find us. And Tim posted a hammer of a bluegill for the
Biggest
new year. Like, what a way to ring in the new year! And that
Yeah.
was ice fishing, right?
Yep. Biggest gill I've ever caught. Like, if you look at the picture, you can see that we're clearly in an ice house. But I biggest gill, summer, winter, doesn't matter. I mean, we just talked about how I really haven't been ice fishing that much. I have went more in the recent years, but it's only with other people that have had like houses set up or have
Mm-hmm.
invited me to go with them. I have rods and reels and lures and stuff, but I don't have an auger or an ice house or any of that stuff. So putting together
Right.
those pieces of the puzzle. But yeah, I went with my brother-in-law
Okay.
and we went on a somewhat private lake. Like, it doesn't have a uh public access. It's just the people that live on that lake have access to it. And he knew
Nice.
the guy that lived on that lake. And we went out there and like it was a relatively slow day. I only caught two fish, but they were both big, and that
Nice.
second one was the biggest bluegill I've ever caught. It was a monster. I thought it was a
Hell yeah, dude.
bass when I saw it through the water.
What?
I'm
No
like, "Oh,
way.
it was like turned upside down kind of when it was spinning, and all I saw was the white stomach." And I'm like, "That's a bass." And then it like comes through the hole, and it's like almost the size of the hole. Like, it's an 8-inch hole, and it filled up almost the whole thing.
Oh
And I
my
was like,
god.
"God damn." I mean, like,
Hell yeah, dude.
from nose to tail, I'm sure it was longer than 8 feet, but I mean, like, from top to bottom, like,
8 feet? No.
or 8 inches, sorry.
The fish or the hole?
The hole was 8 inches, but, from the the nose to the tail of the fish, I bet was bigger than 8
Was
inches too.
over than the was
I
wider
didn't
than the width
I
of the
yeah,
hole. Yeah, yeah,
I didn't measure like that, but I bet that thing was I don't know. That thing had to have been about 6 inches from stomach to dorsal fin.
jeez. Yeah,
Yeah,
it was big, man. Like,
that was a
I retweeted it because I don't have a like, another way of putting that, but yeah, I mean, like you said in the post, is like, "You're 6'2". You're not a small dude." And that thing was, like, overflowing your hand. It was such a good fish. So, what has gotten you, I mean, you said you went with your brother-in-law. Is he the one that's gotten you out a little bit more recently? And is that how you built your tackle, just because you had an outlet to go? Or, like, how
Yeah,
did you get to that point now?
yeah, pretty much. It was him and then a couple of guys that I worked with, when I was selling cars.
Okay.
They yeah, uh, Jake and Jeff are their names, and both of those guys, uh, Jake has been fishing forever. Jeff too, but like Jake has a super sweet setup, man. He had like a
For the
uh
winter,
yeah,
specifically?
he had a pretty big ice. I can't remember the brand. I want to say it's like Clam. Think it was
Mm.
blue. So, but it was a
Yeah, clams
relatively
are cool.
large, yeah, a relatively large one. And then he had, those like uh kind of foam, um like matting that you can put in your house. Like they kind of like snap together almost like big puzzle pieces,
Oh, yeah,
like
yeah,
for
for
flooring and
sure.
stuff.
They're the floor mats that you
Yeah,
can put in your garage or your kitchen or whatever you
yeah,
want, but yeah,
right.
they literally look like puzzle pieces.
Yeah, and he had like a bunch of those. He would put those in so you could like walk and not have to worry about slipping around on stuff. So it was like padded and comfortable. And he had a couple of holes that were like pre-ready to go. He'd drill them out, like kind of mark them, drill them out, and then he'd have his chairs. And he had this dope little box with a like little 32-inch TV like mounted on the
Mhm.
inside of it. He's a carpenter, like by trade, but he was also selling cars. Like,
Okay.
but he
Mhm.
knows what he's doing. And you would open up the box, like the two top pieces would swing underneath and like make a TV stand, and then we'd like watch Netflix while we were fishing and stuff. Like
Yeah.
it took him like 20 minutes, and we had like a living room setting, and and it was awesome. And I'm like, dude, that's
Yeah,
another
dude.
thing where I'm just like, God damn, I need to build something like this, and I need to have it set up. Like this is so dope.
Yes, and
Yeah,
that's also, like, what I was kinda getting at, like, earlier in the when we were talking about, like, the small towns and, like, some of these are just pallets with some outdoor carpet on them and 4 walls put up, but the TV is such a huge thing now, is, like, have the TV, you gotta have some form of entertainment out there, and that's why it has become ice drinking, just as well, because with these more permanent houses, you do kinda just plop down, drill
yeah,
some holes,
my
and go out there and watch Netflix. I mean, what
right,
else are you gonna do? Bring a six-pack of beer and fucking fish and hope for the
right,
best.
right, yep. My brother-in-law has, like, some portables, and that's what we took out, um, when we went and caught that bluegill, but he's also got, like, a legit ice castle, and
Oh, damn.
that's just, like, has everything in it, so we just
The
go
wood
out.
paneling walls and everything?
Yep, we've been out there and, he's got the TV set up in there and stuff, although I
Yeah,
heard
dude.
that, his wife told me just recently that he, like, it doesn't mount to the wall or whatever, and he didn't do what they were supposed to do properly, and then he took off, and then the TV fell and just shattered pretty
Shit,
much, like, "Ah, fuck." But,
damn
yeah,
it.
I know. So that sucks. But, like, I mean, having an ice castle like that is you're literally fishing in a little, trailer home almost.
Oh, yeah,
Like,
dude, they
most of
get
them have
insane.
yeah, most of them have, like, this small but a full kitchen, you got a stove and everything, and,
Mhm.
they got the generator outside, so you fire it up. Oh, another dope thing that they have now is, there's multiple companies that make, the underwater camera, like Aquaview, and I think
Oh,
Markham makes
sure,
one,
sure.
so you can look at stuff
Yeah,
down
it's
there.
legal to use a camera in the wintertime. You can plop a live feed video camera into a hole next to your fishing hole and watch your bait essentially or scan for fish.
Right,
I
yep.
mean, in Minnesota, that's legal. I don't know about anywhere else.
Is it illegal to use one in the summertime?
I think it is in the summertime. You know what? I'll have to
Oh.
look that up. But
Yeah, we probably should because I think I've used the camera in the summertime, like, not not to try to,
it's
like
not like you're trolling with a camera on the front of the boat and just
no,
going
like, I
like,
just,
"Oh,
like, fish all day in spots that I normally fish, and I just go, "What the fuck?" And then grab the camera and just be like, "Is there anything even down here? Like, am I missing them because they're not here?" And then you'd, like, lower it down, you see a fish, and you're like, "No, they're here. What the fuck?" And then you just put it back away and keep
yeah,
trying.
you're not like."
I'm not
I
sitting there
mean,
like a
fish
ice
are only
fishing
gonna
where
bite
I'm
if they bite,
chilling.
right? We've talked about that many
Yeah,
times. You just
and
like, even if you're on the fish, there's
right.
no guarantee they're gonna bite.
Yeah, in the ice, you literally have, like, the camera's in one hole, and you're fishing the other hole, and the camera's on your jig, and you're just
Right.
waiting to see it bite, and then you set the hook as soon as he eats it.
Yep.
That's never what I've used it for. It's just been like, "Is there fish down here? Like, what the hell?" So, but, yeah, if that's illegal, whoops, sorry.
Oop,
Uh, but
statute limitation.
right, if it makes you feel any better, I'm gonna fish the same spot I was with or without the camera, but
Right.
but they have attachments now, um, where I'm sure it wasn't that hard to hook up anyways, but I see a lot of people now hook that camera up to their big screen TV. So
The
yeah,
TV that's already in the shanty that they're watching Netflix on, but they'll just,
right.
like, switch to input
Yep,
HDMI 2, and
yep.
then they're watching the Aquaview.
Yeah, so everybody's watching that fish, and then it's kinda cool, like, you can see, like, the family and stuff. Like, I saw one where there was a family, like, the mom and the kids are watching, "Oh, oh," and all of a sudden it eats it, "No!" Everybody's like, "Yeah, fish on." So,
That's crazy.
yeah, I would definitely like to get something like that, but that's a long way down the road.
Hey, man, you gotta start somewhere, and that's why hopefully we'll, get some people on here to talk to about ice fishing and learn a little more and, teach a little more and all of that fun stuff. But what else do you wanna share about your ice fishing past history? Anything? I feel like we're in a good spot to, make the transition to part 2, but I don't wanna cut you off.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's really all it is, I think. I just
Yeah, I mean,
It really comes down to just, like, in the past, video games and snowboarding were a funner idea than sitting in one spot over a hole, and now I'm like, "Eh, I totally okay with sitting in one spot, like, just
Mhm.
get out there on the ice and stuff." And I know there's some people too, like, probably listening that are just like, "No, you don't sit in one spot, dude. You drive and you check where you're at, and you drill a hole, you catch a fish, and if you don't catch a fish, you move to the next spot." Like, I know some people are hardcore
Right.
where they're just hopping holes all day trying to chase, like, crappies move a lot, so if
Even in
you
the
want,
winter? Jesus.
yeah, yeah, the schools move, so, like, sometimes you'll have a school come past, you'll catch, like, bam, 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 like, it gets hot, and then it'll go
Mhm.
away, and yeah. So, some of those guys are out there just chasing holes. Real You can be real active
Sure.
on the ice, but that's not what I'm trying to do. I think me and you are on the same page, like,
Yeah.
let's find a spot that should be a good spot, drill
Mhm.
a hole, and fucking crack a beer and hope for the best.
Right, right. That sounds super fun
Yeah,
'cause
dude.
especially with, like you said, the GPS and stuff like that, like, just learning the lay of the lake and, like, just going with that idea of but this is good chance here. So let's just kick back, relax, enjoy the day, and do this.
Yep. Yep.
Sometimes it's too damn cold to keep moving. Let's just be honest. Like, dude, you just want to get inside that house because even fully bundled up, you get cold, and then that little bit of extra, even if you're just pulling one of those sled sheds behind you, that is enough to like knock the wind down, and you can warm up. And sometimes that's all you want to do is just get warm and hope for the best.
Right. That's another nice thing about when the ice is thick enough to drive your truck out there, because you can drive,
Hmm.
like, the couple of times that I went with, um, Jake and Jeff, like, they were always when it was thick enough to drive out, and they have, like, the hub shelter style. So we would drive out, and we would park the truck where where we knew we wanted to fish, we would park the truck, so we would, like, that would be sheltering us from the wind.
Oh, right.
And me
Nice.
and Jeff went one day when, like, it was, like, 20 below 0 in the morning, and it
Oh,
was, like,
air temperature,
yes,
20 below
it's like,
0.
yeah,
Yeah.
real temp was 20 below, and it's like, this probably isn't the best idea, but it's like, we can drive the truck out, it'll be warm until we open up the truck, and then we can move fast, get the hub set up, and have the truck block the little bit of wind and get the heater going, and it wasn't that bad.
Yeah,
So, you can make it
for
happen,
sure. Oh,
even when
yeah.
it's that cold, but
Yep.
I definitely wouldn't try to do that when it was, like, the time of year where you're pulling a portable out there. Fuck that. Pulling a sled
That's
out
just
there.
too cold. That's just
Yeah.
too cold for just
Mm-mm.
a
I'm
a
not doing that.
portable pulling a sled across an
Yeah,
open
no
field of wind.
no thanks. We're going back to the early days. So I'm gonna pop a video game in.
And I'm gonna get a beer
Yep.
and do that instead.
Yep.
Kick ass, man. Well, speaking of video games, let's get into part 2, where we're just gonna kinda talk about the Nintendo Switch since you're brand new to it, and I've had one
Woo-hoo-hoo.
for a little bit. But before we do that, we gotta take a break. So let's do it after the
Yup.
break. Welcome back from the break, everybody. This is the Real AF TV podcast, the show about fishing and random takes from the land of 10,000 lakes. We are in topic 2. We are going to be talking about the Nintendo Switch because, well, I like to think I'm pretty damn good at the Nintendo Switch. In fact, the weekend leading up to this podcast launched is a Splatoon 2 Splatfest, which is where you pick a team and you go against another team and you play each other on the internet for bragging rights.
So you can say, "I'm better than you at" this
this
thing. Can you explain
paintball kind of game.
so can you can you explain that a little bit more? So I've played the Splatoon with you before. Like I know what it is. I know how it works. There's, it's
Mhm.
paintball guns. But when you're talking about you choose a team, it's like everybody, like it's
Yeah.
just kind of a tally deal where it's everyone versus everyone and you just choose a side.
Yeah, so, like, up a week before the event, and because that's why it's called a Splatfest, so there's an event, and so they have a time, and it's like, it starts at 2:00, Eastern Time, uh, on Friday this date, which, the day this podcast released, it was the previous Friday, so the 15th. So it's like, starts on the 15th and it ends on Sunday at like 10 p.m. Eastern time. And you literally walk up to a billboard and you pick a side. And this one it's because Mario's 35th anniversary is this year. So it's
Okay.
Super Mushroom and Super Star. So it's the mushroom from Mario and the star from Mario.
Yep.
And so you pick a side, and then every time you go into a game, because it's always 4v4, that's what Splatoon is. So it's 4v4. You basically have paint guns, and you're these little squid kids, and you see who can paint the most of the level. But the defensive part is when you shoot somebody else with enough paint, they get kicked back to the respawn point. And so
Okay.
during this event, it's always like your team versus the other team. So I always stay up and play as much of this in my free time as I can and work for my team. So
Right.
yeah, I'm like literally in the throes of that the weekend before this podcast comes out because I love that shit. I love that game. It's really good and it doesn't require you to be super good like Call of Duty. You can it's pretty easy shooter to get into.
Yeah, well, I mean, when you're just trying to paint as much as the area as possible, you're not
And then
trying to.
just out and then, yeah, you only have to
Yeah,
defend yourself when somebody comes up. You don't have to go out and you don't always have
right.
someone hunting your ass.
I think I played that at your house though once,
Yeah.
and
Mhm.
did play Call of Duty a lot then, and I remember like not really kind of getting the grasp of the game where I'm just like, yeah, I got to paint everything, and then I'd get close to other people, and I was the aggressor, just shooting the
Right.
shit out of everybody, and we just dominated because. I guess most people are just like, let's just paint the level. And I'm just like,
Right.
I'm going to kill everyone, or not kill them, but I'm gonna paint these fuckers to death.
I'm gonna paint the fuck out of everybody.
I'm gonna get you
So,
so red, dude.
but yeah, so I mean, I've played a lot. I put in tons of hours. You and your wife got me and my wife, my fiance at the time, uh, our Nintendo Switch because
Yeah,
that was your guys' wedding gift to us, which was
yeah,
like
dude.
our long shot. I was like, fuck it, just put it on there, and then you guys fucking got it for us. Ah, shit.
Yep.
And I couldn't believe that Sarah, my wife, was like, I don't know, the Switch. I mean, like, I don't know what else we want really on our, like, that's sort of the one thing we don't think anybody's going to get us.
Right.
And we were
Yeah.
just like, but no, I mean, the Switch, that's crazy. Like, the knife set's really cool.
Right. Right. Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. And
So
I
yeah,
don't
you guys
think.
hooked us up, and so I've been
Yeah.
playing it for. I got a ton of hours. Usually,
Right.
just follow me at Josh LaBaw on some social medias. You'll see that I post about my video game addiction. But you just got one this year.
Yep.
Have
Yep.
you opened it? Have you got it hooked up? What's going on?
Yeah, dude. So I have been geeking out on Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu,
Let's
and
go.
I have Let's Go Pikachu because I got my nephew Let's Go Eevee for Christmas,
Oh yeah.
and they have like Pokemon that you can't get on like one game versus the other, so we can trade each
Hmm.
other down the road.
Yeah.
I don't know how much it really matters, but I was like, well, if that's an option we want, we'll just do it that way because I don't care. They also said that Let's Go Eevee sounds like it could be a little bit easier. I'm not
Oh,
sure
interesting.
why. I think it's probably because The Pokemon that are exclusive to that game are a little bit better than the Pikachu one, but it was fine.
Oh,
I don't care.
interesting.
I was just like,
Interesting.
whatever.
Huh.
I'm gonna give him Eevee if it's easier because he's younger, and
Right.
this is definitely gonna be his first like big. Um, I mean, it's essentially a RPG. You know, it's
Oh, it is. Like, if
yeah,
you listen to people talk about Pokemon, like, people who grew up playing Pokemon, they're in their 30s now, and they're just like, "Oh, Pokemon is and always was baby's first RPG." It still is now. It
yeah,
was then, but accessibility doesn't mean it sucks. It's just, like,
right, and
really dumbed down. Not dumbed
yeah,
down, that's even the wrong way. It's just
right.
really
No,
simple.
yeah, it's simple and it's awesome. It's so
Mhm.
awesome. Like the simple concept, I think, is what makes it so cool. You're just catching Pokemon and then you're gonna train them up, and there's so many options. Like you only get to choose to have 6 on your squad, but you can literally put any one of them that you catch on your squad, you know?
Yeah, right.
It's like this endless possibility of, and everybody has their strengths and weaknesses, you know? There's all these different types and all of them are a strong or weak against something else, Fire type is strong against grass type and the grass type is strong against water type, which doesn't really
Right.
make sense, but it's like, water's
That
not
one
really.
doesn't make sense,
Yeah,
but, like,
yeah, but it's like you had
it's
to do
pretty
that to
logical.
make the game make sense, where
Mhm.
it
To
kinda
balance it.
makes sense, like, water's not gonna hurt a plant, because 'cause they're just like, "That's how I live. Uh,
Right, yeah.
I need rain." But, it's and for those of you that don't know, because some people seem to just be like, "Oh, you like that little kids show?" That was a video game before it was ever a show or ever a card game. It was a video game first.
Yeah,
It
at least
started
in
as a
America
video
for
game.
sure. I don't know if it was an anime video game launched simultaneously in Japan, but for sure in
Oh,
America,
yeah. I
it was
maybe
a Game
may
Boy game before it was a
yeah.
TV.
No, it was definitely a video game before it was a TV show.
Oh, I believe you.
Yeah. Yeah, because the video game came, like, in original Game Boy days, and I don't think
Oh,
that
yeah.
the Pokemon show came until we were, like, oh, that had to have been, like, early high school. So, like, freshman year or so.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, in the 2000s, and the video game must have been out in, like, 97, 98.
Yeah, something like that. So, yeah,
Yeah.
maybe even earlier,
So,
95. I don't know.
yeah,
But
it was pretty early. Yeah, you're right.
but
Yeah, now that I think about it, it must have been even earlier than
but
that, yeah.
yeah, the you Sarah has it, right? Let's Go Eevee, doesn't she?
Yeah, yeah, and actually, the first mainline Pokemon game to leave, the handheld line is on Switch also, which even though Switch is handheld, um, that's the reason why it's called the Switch, is because you can plug it into the dock and put it on your TV as well, but when you unplug it from the dock, it's a handheld. But the first mainline game to leave handhelds and go to, like, Nintendo's main console is
Yeah.
Sword and Shield. So she has
Yes.
both of them. You guys geek out about Pokemon
Oh, yeah.
all the time, and I can't keep up. I only know the phone game basically.
Right.
So, yeah, she has Let's Go. She did get Eevee. She's got the little ball too, the ball controller
Yes.
with her edition.
Yeah, I don't have that, um, but it's okay because I can kinda be a cheater, because I think you could probably do it with the ball controller too, but if I don't know if she's familiar with this, but you can actually do, like, two-player.
Oh,
You can
what?
have a second person running around with you, and they're just like a helper trainer, and you
Really?
can both throw the Pokeball at the Pokemon at the same time, like, when you encounter one.
Really?
Yeah, so you can just take one in each hand and just throw simultaneously, and you get, like, a catch, like a little bonus.
Really?
Yeah, for throwing both of them together. Yep.
So so with the Switch, when you dock it, you can take off the left and the right side controller, and they just for people who don't know, you can take off the left and right side controller, and they become
Yep,
independent controllers. So you're
exactly.
literally using the left-hand side and the right-hand side
Yep, I'm using
when you're
both as
playing.
player 1 and 2, and and
You're
in
playing player 1 and player 2 just
Yep,
because you popped off the controllers.
yep, and
Yes,
and, like,
love
in
it.
this game, unlike some of the older Pokemon ones, like, this one's more of what the cell phone game is, where you're throwing the ball at the Pokemon to catch it. You don't like, in the
You
original
have to fight the
Pokemon
Pokemon.
game, yeah, you have to fight him. You have to get him down to a level where he's, like, about to faint, and then you choose to throw the Pokeball at him, and that's how
Right.
you catch him, or her.
Mhm.
Some of them are genderless, whatever. Don't come at me with that shit. Uh, but,
We're talking
uh,
about fucking cartoon pocket monsters right
yeah,
now.
Pocket
Don't at me,
Monsters,
bro.
bro. But yeah, so this one, you actually physically, like, if you have the controller off of the I don't even know the terminology. Like, when you have the screen just on the little stand, what do you call
Yeah.
that? Like
I mean, I call it the console, but it's
okay, yeah,
basically a
when you
tablet with controllers
right,
strapped to the side
right.
of it, right?
Okay, yeah, right, pretty much. So when you have the tablet on the console deal, you use the controller to actually kinda, like, throw the ball at it, and you can use
Mhm.
both hands to throw the ball, and it gives you, like, a double bonus, and
Damn,
yeah, it's
that's
sweet.
kick-ass, dude.
But has she ever linked hers to Pokemon Go on her phone?
Yes, she
Yeah.
has. So there's the what is it, Metland that is, like, impossible to get
Yes, yeah,
in the
you
game. So she has that, and also, this is the cool thing about the ball is you can put a Pokemon in the ball. So you can walk around with it because it's you know how, like, you can get those fitness trackers, for lack of a better way of putting it, that
Oh, yeah, yeah.
basically say, like, "You've walked 100 yards. I'm just gonna link it to your Pokemon Go," even though it's fucking sitting at home, but so the ball does that. The ball is like a fitness tracker, but you put a Pokemon in it. So when you shake it,
Yeah,
it will it'll make, like, say I'm just gonna pick a different one than Pikachu and Eevee, but say you put, like, a Charizard in there, and Charizard's noise is like, "Rrr." It
yeah,
will make that sound when you shake it. It makes Charizard's noise so
nice.
that you believe that Charizard's in the ball, and Charizard will sound off when there are Pokemon near, and you can press the button and catch the Pokemon. Like,
Oh, sweet.
it's actually an interactive little toy, but yeah, it's really cool, and you have to be linked to make those sort of things happen, but yeah, she has linked it up.
Okay. Yeah, because that's, like I got to that point in the game not too long ago. Like, you actually have to,
That's a pretty good ways in, actually.
yeah, you have to progress into the game, which
Mhm,
I'm a little bit disappointed with how far you end up. I mean, they probably do it so you're not just, like, stacked straight out the gate, but,
mhm.
um, you get to a point in that game where like, I traded you can transfer Pokemon from your Pokemon Go into this park,
Yep.
and then you catch them. And I transferred the Pokemon in there, and the Pokemon I already had are so much stronger
Mm.
than the ones I was able to transfer in, even though the ones I transferred in were relatively strong in
We're stacked in
Pokemon
the
Go.
phone in actual
Yeah,
phone version of Pokemon Go.
yeah.
Yeah, I she noticed that too because and I don't know the specifics Pokemon, so I won't say that, but yeah, we noticed that too. They kinda, like, drop in CP, I think it is specifically, maybe even in level. I can't remember all the details, but yeah, she was like,
Well,
well, that
so
was really stacked in the phone.
yeah,
That's weird."
so here's what I think happens. And I think it drops in CP because the level and the CP seem to differ on the game quite a bit, where
Between the 2 games, you mean, right? Like
yes, yes,
yeah.
yes, the
Mm, mm.
CP, um so for those of you that don't know, there's the level of the Pokemon and the CP is like the combat points, and the higher the CP, the better your Pokemon. The level doesn't really matter too much. The CP is where you're getting those combat points. If they have high combat points, those things are strong. And in the phone game, the Pokemon can only be as high of a level as you are. So, like,
Mhm.
I'm a level 40, my Pokemon can be a level 40. In the game currently, the most of my Pokemon are like 56, 57. So
in the Switch
in
game.
in the Switch game, my Pokemon are far beyond what they can be on my phone. But the
Mhm.
CP in this game are like not even 3,000. None of them are 3,000 yet. And in the
Yeah.
phone game, I have 2 or 3 of them that are over 4,000,
Ah,
and
yeah.
my Pokemon are only level 40.
Jeez. Yeah,
So
so there's definitely a disconnect in
there's a
games.
disconnect
As
in
much as they think they're connected, they're not that connected.
right.
Well,
But
that's
that
because Let's Go is also trying to be the traditional console game too, and the phone game is sort of bending some rules, I guess, in a way.
yeah, the phone game's completely different. It really started out as just a way to get the the
To catch
AR.
Pokemon in real,
Yeah,
yeah, in AR, like in the real world, and then it turned into like, oh my god, people are really playing this. We got to figure out how to make this an RPG. Quick, let's go.
right,
we
right.
gotta we gotta get
Yep,
on it.
yep, and it kinda
I think
became
that's what
that.
happened too.
Yeah, and it's still nothing compared to the regular games. Like, I want Sword and Shield so bad,
Yeah, that's
but
actually where I was gonna go next. Is ask
yeah.
you, are you gonna get sort? Are you working on it? Do you think like
Oh, for
it's gonna
sure,
happen?
dude. Like, I've been playing this game because it still has the fun part of,
Hmm.
like, battling trainers and collecting a gym badge. It's just like a regular Pokemon game,
Hmm.
except for the way you catch Pokemon is throwing the ball and stuff. But
Right. Set of
the
training.
excitement about Sword and Shield and stuff and those kinda games is that you can't see the Pokemon. Like, this one's completely different where it's just like Pokemon Go on the phone, where you walk around and
Hmm.
you actually see the Pokemon, and then you're like, "Oh shit, I gotta go over there and encounter that Pokemon, and then I get to catch him, or I get to try to catch him."
Right.
Where the old school Pokemon game, you just walk around in the tall grass. You have no idea. All of
And
a
then
sudden
you
you
hope
just
the grass Pokemon pops up.
right, yep.
Yeah.
You're just walking around, and all of a sudden something does pop up, and most of the time it's garbage, you know? It's and then
Yes,
every once in a while you get a
that is
rare
a
one.
random fight engine. And
Yeah.
that's what that is. And there's just a random enemy engine that's so on Sword and Shield that has kind of taken on the Let's Go effect. You can see Pokemon in the real world on Sword and Shield.
Oh, you can?
Yeah. So that's just I know you can see them. I'm quite certain you can go up to them. Whether or not that engages a battle or not, I can't remember. I watched Sarah play a lot, but she also played a lot in handheld because that's how she has always played them. So even though she pulled out the pro controller, like when it's docked, you can get a real video game controller and play it. It's a real console. Like you can get a video game controller. It looks like an Xbox
Yeah.
controller, looks like a PlayStation controller, however your references are.
Yeah, well, they
And
also have did yours come with the controller that you
oh, the, like, little, yeah, it has the so you can mount the left and the right Joy-Cons, the little
yeah,
controllers.
yep,
Yeah,
into that middle one, so it's like a
yeah,
controller. Like, I know what you're talking about, you can get a secondary.
yeah, and they're called pro controllers because 'cause
Okay.
they're like real video game controllers, for lack of a better way, so I just bought one of those right away because that's why I wanted the Switch. I wanted to play it on the TV. But, yeah, she actually played it mostly handheld, so I didn't get to watch a lot of it because it just felt comforting to her, you know what I mean? It's like
Yeah,
it
I'm
just felt
dude,
like another DS game, I guess, for lack
yeah,
of a better way
I
of putting
I
it.
play it I play it mostly, like, handheld too,
Yeah,
but that's just because, like, when I'm playing that, everybody's doing their own thing, so
right.
that way I can be in the same room where, like, you know,
Yeah,
my wife and me have different tastes in television, so
right.
she can watch
Uh-huh.
what she wants to watch, and I can play that game, and we
Play
can
games.
still be
Yeah,
together, so
dude.
it's pretty
Yes.
sweet.
No, it is, and that's exactly where I wanted to go with this. You're making these transitions perfect for me because it's the ultimate Family Guy machine, and I don't damn it, I shouldn't have said Family Guy. Shit. But it is seriously, it's like the ultimate dad machine. It's just like you grab that thing, it's in handheld mode. You can turn it on and off like it's a phone. So, as soon as the kid starts being rambunctious, you're like, click the power button, go
Yeah,
take
that
care.
part's dope
Okay,
too,
they're sitting
just
down. and then you turn it back on, and you're right back where you left off. It's like, fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah, I bet it. I mean, you probably can't do that with like Splatoon and stuff, but
No, because it's online. Yeah, you can't just like quit an online match, but still,
right.
yeah. No, it's
How
sick.
those?
I love that. Yeah, that's totally the same way that I feel about it. Now, I got a pro tip for you. And I don't know how many games you're going to buy and download and everything like that, but I don't buy physical games unless I'm trying to collect them. That goes mostly for anything, but definitely on the Switch because it's so portable. It almost feels like a phone in its own way. It's just it's a tablet turned into a real gaming machine, and so I
Right,
got an
right.
SD card for it. You can just get any micro SD card and slap it in that thing, and it expands the memory just like that.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering because I saw like they had like officially licensed SD cards that like had
Yeah,
Mario's
um,
picture on there, and they're like, "Yeah,
yeah.
Nintendo approved ones," and I'm like, "Do they have to be Nintendo approved?" Like,
No.
no, okay,
No, because okay, so here's the deal: is like there are different classes and all this other shit, and nobody manufactures, or maybe they manufacture them, but nobody sells a micro SD card with 120 gigs on it that doesn't fit the standards of a Switch. They don't even sell that because nobody's buying it because probably nobody's manufacturing it. You could just grab any old like 128, 512. It doesn't matter. Just grab a big old gig card and put it in there and it just takes over. It's beautiful
right, right,
and affordable.
nice, good to know. Because yeah, I saw the like officially licensed ones, and I'm just like, these look like they're too expensive for this. And
Yeah, I
I,
guarantee that they're because they have the Nintendo logo on them. They're $5, $10, whatever more.
right, and
Yeah.
I mean, is there anything that like is there like any way that it could be where like the games are just more compatible? Like, is there any chance that like possibly like corrupting a data if I bought a different one or no?
No, they're so the only difference would be because it's as long as you and also just get a SanDisk. Like that's
Right.
pretty much what SD means is that's the company who invented them. But the the only thing that would be the difference between a 30 a 128 SanDisk and a officially licensed Mario logoed 128 gig card would be the fact that Nintendo has actually put it in the Switch and had someone test it for like 40 hours.
Oh, okay. Okay.
It's stupid. No, there's no risk. I
Okay.
did not get one of those. I bought some rando one off the internet and
Right.
I've had mine for like 3 years. I'm good.
Nice. Good to know.
Yeah. And dude, this is the to tie it back to like our first part with the ice fishing and how we were talking about the TVs and stuff like that. It's like, dude, the Switch is like the ultimate ice fishing video game system.
Mhm.
It could literally ride in your pocket. You just
Yeah.
bust it out while you're fishing.
Yeah, and if we have a little table, okay, so you got 2 dead sticks, which is what you would call like your bobber rod or whatever. We could just put those in the hole,
Yeah.
and then we could put the screen because the screen like stands alone. You
Yeah, it
can
has a
put the
kickstand on
screen.
the back. You
Yeah,
just
yeah,
kick it out and put it on a flat
yeah,
surface.
and then we could each hold a controller and just play, like,
Yeah.
whatever, Super Smash Bros, which feel like two-player on a little screen like that would be fucking insane, but
Ultra chaotic.
it'd just be like, we just both of us trying to hyper focus on this little screen, just have seizures in the middle of the
Squinting.
fucking lake. Just yeah, god damn it.
Oh, shit.
Both of us shaking on the ice, like, "Eh, which guy are you? I can't fucking tell, dude. I don't know."
Oh, shit. Oh, that's awesome. Well, I have a list of games that I could send you that I would
Yeah,
recommend, but
good, yes, because I need to know, like, I tried to look at, like, list of best games, and I'm looking through them, and they're giving me, like, like, I shouldn't say garbage, I'm sure they're probably pretty good, but they're giving me, they're just like, "Yeah, this thing," and it's some, like, download only game I've never heard of where it's probably okay, but
Mhm.
I'm just like, I want Nintendo games, you know?
Right. Yeah.
Like, I don't
And, oh,
I
they have
I can get
Nintendo
these
games.
download only games on most systems. I've had
Mhm.
a PlayStation forever. Like, I
Right.
want Nintendo games. That's why I bought the Nintendo.
Right, yeah. No, for real, and they have Ninten oh my god, they have Nintendo games. Actually, you had experience with the Wii U, and pretty much everything on the Wii U has been ported over to the Switch now and is
Okay.
better in some way. So, that's the first place to start, is if you ever had any Wii U experience, which probably nobody listening has, just you, is basically every game that was on the Wii U has been ported to Switch. So if you had a Wii U game that you were like, dude, that thing was dope, just go get it. It's probably on the Switch store. But they just so it's Mario's 35th anniversary. Like I said at the beginning of this topic, that there's the Splatoon 35th anniversary thing
Yeah,
going on right
yeah,
now,
yep.
and to tip in their hat to Mario, they released Mario 3D All Stars. So I don't. You had a Super Nintendo, right? You were a Super Nintendo kid.
Yes, yep. That was,
Y-
second system I had. I started with the regular Nintendo, and then
Okay, yeah, and you remember Mario All Stars?
yes, dude, I still have it.
Yeah, fuck yeah, you do.
So
So
dope.
now they released 3D All Stars. So the mainline Mario 3D games: Mario 64, Mario Sunshine,
Mario
Mario
64 is
Galaxy.
on there?
All three of those games are in one game for $60, dude.
Nice.
They're all
Galaxy
remastered.
Galaxy's the one with the hat?
No, that's
Oh,
Odyssey. That's the
that's
native
that's
made for Switch Mario
okay,
game.
okay.
Yeah,
So I think
cop that one. It's dope.
what
It's
was
my
what
favorite.
was Galaxy on?
Mario Galaxy 2 actually also did come out. Those were on the OG Wii.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I think I have those. I think I have Galaxy.
Oh,
I think
okay.
I have
Y
Sunshine for the GameCube.
Yep.
Yeah, and I think I have I've never, like, played through 64. I've played it at people's houses, but I never had it at
Mhm.
64.
Yeah.
And
No, me
that
neither. I
game
bought it on the Wii U and I
sucks when
played
you
it.
try to hop in with other people. They're just like, "Yeah, I'm playing Mario 64." You're just
Oh,
watching people, like, run around, and you're like, "I don't
right.
know what the fuck is" they're like, "I think I gotta go over here." And you're like, "What do you mean? I don't get this at all." No, you gotta play it from the
Yeah,
beginning by
it was
yourself.
super hard to watch, I agree. I don't know if it's hard to I think people can watch it now, like, I think people watch Mario 64 on Twitch because they have nostalgia for it. They know where they are,
Yeah,
they know where
yeah,
the
exactly.
person playing is, but back then, when it was your first time seeing it, you're like, "What the fuck are you doing? I
Oh,
understand who Mario is, but why aren't you jumping, and what is I don't get it, man." I mean, it
yeah,
was impressive to watch, technically, for
yeah.
anybody who was impressed by, like, 3D graphics. I mean, yeah, it was a great 3D jumping around game, 3D
Oh, yeah, it
platformer.
looked for the time, it looked really, really good.
Yeah,
But, yeah,
and
I remember, like, watching him look around, and he was just, like, trying to, like, climb up this, there like, from the times that I watched it, there was just no action going on, and I
yeah,
think that's probably the problem. Like, I know
right.
that there probably is action well, I shouldn't say probably, I know that there is action.
Mhm.
I just never witnessed it firsthand, that's why I wanna play it. Cause yeah, just watching other people, like, it got a bad taste in my mouth right away.
Yeah.
I was like, "This game is fucking stupid," and that was when you're a kid, like, you're not reading
Right.
reviews, you're not paying attention to it,
Yep.
and then you get older and everybody's like, "Mario 64 was the shit," and you're like, "Really?"
Hmm?
And then I did a
What?
little bit of research on it, and I'm like, "Oh, no, this sounds like a good game, like, I just have to get my hands on it," and
Yeah.
I've just never got around to getting this N64, so
Yeah. Well, here's the weird thing is that Mario 3D All-Stars, Nintendo is doing a limited release, even digitally. It goes away in March. Not
really?
just the physical copies stop getting manufactured. They're pulling it off of the Switch store. They're just gonna not
Weird.
let it be available anymore.
I suppose it's just like, uh god damn it, now I was trying to think of the Jay-Z line, but I had a couple of drinks and now I can't think of it.
Hey,
Just,
we made it clear at the beginning of this podcast that this was a sit down in your ice shanty, grab a beer kind of situation. Now, we're not in ice shanties, but we grab some beers. So,
yeah, I mean, it might as well be an ice
yeah,
shanty. I'm sitting in my
it could
basement
be.
in front of a stool, just talking to you. I got nothing in front of me. Like, wouldn't be much different if I'm in an ice house with a hole in front of me, you
The
know?
only difference is you'd be fishing.
Right, exactly, and hopefully catching something.
Right,
So,
right. Oh shit. All right, man. Well, you know what? Maybe that's one of my deals here with the Switch is I should make a list of like the top 5 that I think someone's gotta have on Switch, and I'll post them on social medias there. So look us up, REELAFTV. Remember that, REELAFTV. Look us up on all the social medias. You'll find us just by searching that, and
yep,
we will start. I'll do that actually on Twitter. I think I will. I'll just post the like top 5 Switches along with this episode. Top 5 Switch games that I think people got to get. There are some bangers that came out last year that I didn't play, so I'm going to kind of give the overview of what I think me and Tim would enjoy. So there, how about that? It's a little more personal. Um,
yeah,
oh,
and
they also have online now too. I wanted to touch on that quick. They have online, like they have Nintendo Online. It's very affordable. It gets you a bunch of Nintendo games, a bunch of OG Nintendo games, a bunch of Super Nintendo games.
yeah, Shannon was pushing for me to get that because she's like, "We should get that and just play Nintendo games after
Yeah, you
Becky goes
should.
to
It's
bed."
cheap as balls,
Yeah,
dude.
we should.
It's so cheap for what it is. It's so worth it. And right now, again, limited release, there's a Mario Royale, a Mario Battle Royale, like OG Mario Battle Royale. It's called Mario 35, and it's where you compete against 35 other people playing Mario.
Yeah?
So as you go through these levels, you die, you get knocked off, and you're all going for that top spot.
So wait,
Yeah, it sounds
I'm gonna have
crazy,
to
right?
yeah, I gotta look into this more. Like, you're all like, on screen playing at the same time?
Yeah, so there's like a big main screen right in the
Yep,
center. And
okay.
that's just so it looks like you're kind of playing a vertical phone version of original Mario. It's just as wide as the 4-3 original Mario. So you're still seeing all this like from right to left, it's still the same, but now it's switches on a wide screen. So you have all this extra side space.
Yeah,
So that extra side space that's outside of the 4-3 aspect ratio
yep,
is the other 35 players, and they're playing on these tiny little screens. So you could technically watch them. Of course you
yeah,
can't. You're playing your game.
right.
And as you hit the enemies, you can send the enemies over to their version of the game. So like here comes a
Oh,
Goomba.
shit.
You jump on it, it's dead. Well, you're attacking player number 14. Okay, goes over to player 14's game.
Oh, dang. That
Yeah,
sounds dope.
yeah, and it's all on a timer too. So like everybody starts, and I'm making this up because it's been a little while, but me and Sarah play the shit out of it, dude. And it's like everybody starts with the normal 128 seconds, and it counts down.
Right. Okay.
If you die, you die. Like that's it, you're out. You hit the enemies, they go over you, like they go over to whoever you're attacking. The person with the most coins, you get to pick. You can assign it randomly, whatever. So there's the advantage, or sorry, the reason why you want to kill besides sending them over to somebody else's game and getting them out is they give you seconds. So
Ooh.
your 120 seconds is counting down, but then you jump on a Goomba, gives you 2 seconds. You have a
Okay.
star, you run through a Goomba, it gives you 1 second. And so there's just like all these little tiny things, and I think it plays great. It's a great game. I'm just so bummed that it's gonna go away. And yeah, it's Mario Battle Royale. It's freaking great, dude. And that you get that with the online as well as the like other Nintendo stuff that's not gonna go away.
Nice. That's super
Yeah.
cool sounding.
Yeah. It's really fun.
Yeah, I might have to get that if it's gonna go away. Get it and play that while it's still around.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's super fun. You should.
yeah. Well, I probably should have said it earlier too, but I gotta apologize for anybody if I sound like stupid. If I sound stupid, free or No, if I if I sound, like, super stuffed up and stuff, I keep trying to mute the mic and sneeze and not let people hear it. I am fighting off what seems to be a sinus infection. I went and got the COVID test, and I'm negative for the COVID. So, I don't know what it is, but something in the sinuses is not going right. So, I apologize if I sound super stuffed up or if there's been, like, little popping noises when I keep muting the mic to sneeze.
But
So
hey, it's Minnesota. It's winter. Get a cold. You get colds. I mean,
you
hey,
get colds, and this is a weird one. I went and got the COVID test because I was tasting metal and
yeah,
smelling metal and everything.
yeah.
My wife's birthday was recently, and I made her a cake, and I had straight up vanilla frosting, but it's like purple tint. So I'm like,
Mhm.
for a second there, I thought the purple tint was making it smell weird. Popped the top off. I kid you not, I could not smell vanilla. It smelled like I was smelling like a jar full of pennies.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I'm like,
Like
"What
your
the
nose was
fuck
full
is
of
this?"
blood or something.
Yeah, it's so weird, and I'm smelling this, like, vanilla frosting that smells just like metal to me, and I'm like, "Ugh,"
Oh my
and I
the
turned to
fuck?
Shannon, and I'm like, "There's something wrong with this frosting," and she's like, "Smells like vanilla." I'm like, "Shut up," and she's like, "Smells fine to me, I don't smell anything," and I'm like, "That smells just like metal."
What the fuck,
Yeah,
dude?
I don't know, but it's not
That's so
COVID,
weird.
so
Hey, yeah, yep, that's good. You and got your test and hey,
Yep,
checked out.
yep,
Oh shit. Yeah, well, I mean, we'll just end on that note. Good. You don't have
yep.
COVID right now. You
No,
don't have COVID at the time of the test and just a little stuffy. So
yep.
sorry. Yeah, I mean, I think you sound fine, dude. So hopefully everybody else does. Let's wrap this shit up and I'll be posting some video game stuff over on Twitter. I'm gonna get some pictures of our ice fishing stuff. I'm gonna
Yes.
hopefully at least get one picture of ice fishing that I think I could find on Instagram. We're also on Facebook. So if you look up REELAFTV, Real AF TV on any of those platforms, just look us up. We're going to be there. Or if you go to realaf.tv, you will find the links to all our social medias. Please engage with us.
Yes.
And you know what? Our Canuck listeners, what up, Canada? You probably are going to laugh at us just going like snowplows on the ice. That's crazy. You're probably like, yeah, you ever seen Ice Road Truckers? We drive fucking full loaded semis over that shit. We don't give a fuck.
Right, right. Yeah, yeah, they got some of their areas are definitely colder than us, faster than us, and uh, it gets thick.
Thick.
Thick. Yep. I w I was gonna say that definitely checking out our website is the best way to find us because I know, like, the
Sure.
Instagram page is, like, the same thing, like, real is it I can't even remember. Is it real.aftv or
No,
is it
it's
real
real. I think real
AF.TV?
underscore because Instagram doesn't allow for the
Underscore.
dots, which we tried
Right,
to get
underscore.
everywhere, and
Yeah, and we tried
dots
to do
fuck
it with
shit up.
no underscore, but some boner out there has the name and not doing anything with it, like, it exists, but there's nothing there. So,
Yeah. So I think we tried our best to go down the real .aftv everywhere because the web address is realaf.tv. That's what I meant.
yeah, I called him a boner, but since we were talking about the Canadians, in case you're not familiar, a boner is just a weird name I threw out, but you guys would call him a hoser.
Yes, yes. Fucking hoser.